Hey everyone, welcome to Love Story. And I'm your host, Yandea. And joining us today, we have a dear friend and brother of mine, Johnathan. Super excited for you guys to meet Johnathan and to hear all about, what he's doing right now. And he's going to share with us his love story. So we're going to wait just a little while to have our sound check just to make sure that you guys are hearing us okay. If you're watching right now, just leave me a message in the chat. Let me know that you're hearing me good, that all is well. Okay, everyone. Okay. Sure that you guys are hearing us okay. Yeah. Okay, sounding good. Thank you, Dwayne. Holla. Okay, so we have Dwayne. Dwayne is on. Okay, sounds good. I can hear it. Okay, good. Okay. So we're actually right on time today, pretty much. Close enough. Close enough, right? Johnathan, I am so excited to have you on. And before, while I was just prepping to start the live, I was thinking of how it was like back in 2017, I think, is the first time that we met. And you had contacted me do you remember? You contacted me to do an interview for you on homeschooling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so just recently I came across that interview and I was like, I wonder how Johnathan's doing. I wonder what he's up to. And then next thing I know, it was like, I think maybe if not within that week, like a week after or something, very, very, very close to when I found that video on my computer of our interview, you sent me a message on YouTube about something very exciting that you now have available.
Yeah.
And then we obviously got back in touch, right? And then I said, you need to come on the love story. I want you to do that. And you're like, I'm down. And here you are, right? So like I said, I'm super excited because I know that between 2017
Hmm.
now, I know you've just expanded, everything that you're doing. And I'm super excited for you, like I said, to share what you're doing now with everybody. But also, before we get into your love story, can you share with us a little bit about who you are? I guess your elevator bio, so to speak, or as much as you'd like to share. But I would love for our viewers to know just a little bit about you, what you, I guess, how would you define yourself? And also just like, what is it that you are bringing to the world right now? I guess if you want to look at it like occupation or whatever, I don't want to,
Hmm.
like just put boundaries on
Right.
how you would describe yourself. So however you feel fit, you know.
Yeah. Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for bringing me on. It
Yeah.
was it was wild to connect with you because I don't know, something said just send Yandea the link to your meditation album. I don't know why. And then you reach back, you're like, so what are you doing? And I'm like, so what are you doing? And then I see this whole universe that you have created. And I'm like, wow. And then you put me on this show now. So it's
Yeah.
amazing how when you trust your instincts, when you trust
Yeah.
your intuition,
Yes.
instead of overthinking things,
Exactly.
things just line up. So yeah, I'm Johnathan, and I'm gonna get into my detailed, what I do, but what I realize what I'm doing is it's a calling.
Yes.
And it's a calling I guess I've answered probably before I came here into this realm to
Mhm.
help people and myself navigate the uncertainty of these times
Yes.
and connect with the truth of who they are.
Yes.
And yeah, that sounds like a big thing. And it's a big thing that I'm like, wow, this must be my mission because as far as I've known, people tell me their business, you know,
Wow.
when
Yeah.
from strangers to like
Wow.
people on the job who other people don't like, they'll just start spilling their and I didn't
Feeling it
know
out.
why. What
Yeah.
is it about me that you you trust that.
Yes.
And when I asked a lady one time, a grandmother, I'm like, why you feel comfortable with me? And she's like, you're like a warm fire that, you can just. So what I do is I took that gift, or that, whatever you want to call that, ability to connect.
Yes.
And I paired it with my passion for the mind and healing. And I just gone heavy into healing modalities, and the ones that I'm passionate about, like
Yes.
hypnosis, hypnotherapy, mindfulness, meditation.
Yeah.
It's all these different ancient tools that we
Yes.
use, but it's really to help people just connect back to who they really are.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love it. I love it. And the thing about it is, it's funny because since we reconnected, we haven't spoken till today, right? And so I realized when I was looking at your bio, and it said, hypnotherapist. And I was like, was he a hypnotherapist back in 2017? Were you back then? I
Yes,
want to
I
say
was.
you were.
I was, but I wasn't. It wasn't something that was dominating my, like,
Right.
it wasn't fully in my
Okay.
practice.
Okay.
But now I'm fully embodied. I'm grounded in it. I
You're
wasn't
in it.
grounded yet. I felt like I
Yeah.
was still surface, but I'm like grounded in it now, and I see its power.
Well,
And you know,
I'm super excited because and I didn't even think we are gonna go this way, but we're going. I also recently got certified as a quantum healing, right?
that's huge. Yeah.
Hypnotherapy. Yeah. And after my NDE, it was like I knew all my life I would have, like, I could see myself always, as a child where, you could see yourself doing certain things. I would always see myself being a hypnotherapist, like having people so relaxed and just helping them, right? And I think when I was little, I saw people doing, like, this type of stuff in movies and all that. And I didn't necessarily see myself doing that, but I always saw that I would be sitting down, like on a chair, and having people laying down. I always would see that. So throughout my practice, that's kind of been how it is. People come, they lay down on their massage table or whatever, and I'm sitting, and then I'll stand up and do whatever I do. But after my near-death experience, I knew that I had to undergo hypnotherapy. I've known it all my life, but I never thought, like, I knew it had to be someone I would have to trust, because I'm like, when I do tap in, the things that I'm going to find out can't just be anybody having that information. This is like top secret stuff. I always knew that. So I'm like, I need to find somebody that can do this for me, right? So anyways, I ended up, it was a whole miraculous thing of how I like came to finding quantum healing and so on. And so I took the course, everything. And since then I've taken other things, right? Just there's little things I thought, like, no, I need to know more of this, need to know more of that. So I've been taking like separate courses, just to better myself. And the journey, like the answers to, and I guess I kind of want to ask you that, right? Like, as a hypnotherapist, I guess, do you do like past life regressions also? And like, what kind of hypnotherapy are you doing?
That's such a great question, because like I've been changing and evolving and answering that. I've gotten like into the whole super, phobias and
Yes, yes,
anxiety work and
yes.
dealing with it too. But the spiritual always comes up.
Yeah, I can't escape.
Even with people that aren't going there,
You're not trying to.
and I'm always having to put in the spiritual in there, or
Yes,
it's coming through, because when you're leading or guiding someone
yes,
that
yes.
world,
Oh yeah,
you're receiving from their unconscious mind.
exactly.
And as you're receiving from their unconscious mind, you've got to be tuned in.
You have
And
to.
sometimes they're like, wow, like, how did you know that? I was gonna say that, or I was just seeing that, right?
Wow.
And
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, well, because I go into trances, you go into trance. And then
What are you
and I get that.
saying right now?
Yeah. That's, you
I
see,
thought I was the only person that was happening to. Honestly, people who watch this, they're going to be like, okay, this is something. Now, you think that this is, and I'm sorry, I think I'm like taking over. I'm
that's
literally
okay.
interviewing you for myself right
You,
now.
I'll be back.
You have to be back. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
just intro, part one.
Yes.
But I found, because obviously you take all the courses and everything, right? And there's nowhere that I've come across with any of the courses that I've taken that talks about, right, you being able to see like people's past lives, or you being able to see like what they're seeing or knowing, or like the spiritual aspect is just not there. That's what I found. I haven't taken every course in the world, right? But even when I have contacted like the course providers and kind of ask questions, so does this happen during a session? Or they're like, nope. So I'm like, well, better stop asking there. Obviously, this is another level of maybe other giftings that I have that are coming online while doing this work. And like I said, even before hypnotherapy, when people would come in, I would see things and I'd be able to help them and guide them. That's what I did. But now adding hypnotherapy, having them into being into that, like, like you would trance state or whatever, deep, not deep sleep, but having them being so relaxed that you could easily access their subconscious. It's
Hmm.
like a whole other world is opening. And I feel like it's so much easier to assist people to get to their blockages and to find out like what really the hindrances are, right? Now, you've been doing this for how many years now?
Oh, well, uh, 2012 is when I started my journey with hypnosis. Um, I was playing with it before as a hobby and taking little courses. When I took the plunge to get certified and everything,
Yeah.
it was 2012. And then I felt like my training wasn't sufficient. And so
Keep
I
going.
kept going
Yeah,
back for more and
exactly.
more. And then really the teachers that I respected just said, you got to just get in there.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's your best learning is your clients. They're going to
Yeah,
teach you and show you what we can't show you. And
exactly.
so just taking the leap and just getting in there
Yeah.
really taught me. To
Mm-hmm.
answer your other question, the past life regression is something that I didn't do, but I
Mm.
studied, like I know the techniques,
Yeah.
but it's definitely something that I am now integrating more,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Much more. Um, I'm integrating a lot of things right now, the somatic healing
Yep.
practices
Yep.
and some of the energy work and some of a whole bunch of stuff, ancestral stuff pieces I'll bring
Yep.
inside there.
Yep. Yep.
The boundaries blur when,
Exactly.
yeah, when things come up. So, the ancestral piece will come in and
Yes.
something will happen and I'll be able to trace it to an ancestor
Yep.
and, you know, we'll do processes to get them to release that,
Yeah.
or call
Good.
in support from the ancestors,
Yes.
that realm and whatnot. So I've just been open and excited to delving in all these different areas of
Mm-hmm.
hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Past life is really the next frontier for me, and I don't know why I put it like that,
I'm
but
here. I'm here. I'm here.
yes, I felt like I needed my legs first. I needed my
Yeah.
grounding first,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I really wanted to master certain things.
Yeah.
But when you're doing this stuff, most of the time we're drawn to it because we're empathic or psychic, and
Exactly. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna come up. You can't fight it.
Yeah. Yeah. I found that for me, it's like you said something in the beginning. Um, it's like you're I'm gonna paraphrase, but like pretty much your calling, you said it's like a calling. You feel like you're answering this calling to what, like better equip people to be their true selves, like right now. This is me paraphrasing. Is that what you said? That's what I that's what I heard.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I feel like that is also, well, I feel like that's kind of what my calling has always been too. But the time the time for such a time as this has never been more like real, you know? And I feel like the hypnosis part coming online for me, because like you, a whole bunch of other healing modalities, and you know, even before I knew what to call them, you know, kind of just, I guess, gift wise, right? Just been operating, doing certain things like all my life. But after the NDE, I was given hypnosis. And I first, before I did it to anybody else, I equipped somebody who I trust very, very much, the person I trust most in this whole entire world. I equipped them with how to do that certain, you know, procedure process that I wanted to get done. So I trained them, showed them like, this is what you're going to do. So I'm going to go under. And I did. And it was such an amazing, I mean, now my husband calls me like a junkie, right? But anyways, but now it's like, I've done so many sessions. I don't know if they're, I mean, I've just done so many sessions just to be able to understand like what clients may go through. And I know everybody's different, you know, but like all the different things. So experiencing traumatic deaths, experiencing like just all, I just went through so many past lives, and then talking to higher self is like my ultimate favorite thing. That's, I think, what I became really like addicted, you know, and I will use the word addicted. I really became like addicted to being in the presence, you know, and being in such oneness, you know, with my highest self, because you're in a state of, you're fully aware of who you are, but then you're fully aware of who you really are. And having that merging of your conscious mind, but then like your mind, like the oneness, you know, and realizing there's just so much to realize when you're in that state. So I guess like when people would go into prayer, you know, like deep prayer, and they feel like the presence of God, it is that, but the real stuff. Another place, it's like the realness, you know? And from that space, you can ask any question and you know it. You know the answer to everything. So I just was like, man, if everybody can just come to this place of knowing themselves, it's over. Like, right? So I felt kind of like, yeah, I felt very empowered. Like, this is what I have to do. Help people integrate their highest self, you know, and really be able to walk in oneness so that there's not two minds, you know, but oneness. And so I guess my question to you, and we are going to get to your love story. I feel like this is all a love story.
It is.
Yeah. But what I want to ask you is, have you yourself ever undergone hypnosis? Like,
oh yeah,
you have, right? Okay.
real. Yeah, like I had like stuff to clean up, childhood stuff to clean up. I was like, when was it? From 2007, I was doing a lot of work around childhood issues between me and my father, working on the father wound, and not using hypnotherapy at that point. There was NLP techniques, and then there was this other ancestral piece that I got some training in, that, you know, they bring the ancestors into the field.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that was really powerful, and I got to see family secrets. I got to, it was revealed, and okay, I understand. I still didn't fully understand till years later. The layers of it came through. I'm like, wow, now I see why the men in the family are like this, or why the general feeling is like this, of separation or disconnection or distrust, or there's this rage going on, or there's this hurt. I understand. And so that helped me. But then, through my trainings, I was doing regression work and going under. I'm so like you, right? It's so easy for me to go in trance. I do self-hypnosis all the time, and it's so easy for me to go deep. It's so easy for me. It's like no problem. I'm probably very suggestible, right? So like, I'm just a natural at that. So I know going in there, it's easy for a hypnotherapist. So yeah, you have to, I totally agree. You have to, it's beneficial to be, if you're going to do the tool, to be able to, you
Yeah,
know,
for
have
sure.
someone that can use the tool on you. So you
Yes.
get it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
Um,
I teach my clients and use self-hypnosis for the ones that embrace it. How it's such a
mhm.
powerful tool,
Yeah,
you know.
that's great. Well, I mean, you and I can chat after this because I would love to. You
Yeah.
have some tools, and you know what? Um, yeah, definitely. Like I love past life regression. I don't even like to call it regression. I call it progression, past life progression,
Mm, I
because
like that.
it's all about bringing you to see something in your past that's going to help you progress right now. That's the only reason.
Hmm.
We don't care about you finding out you're Cleopatra and trying to like, you know what I mean? Be like, if you're Cleopatra, then that's then. You ain't now. So it's
Right.
like, it's not for me. It's not about like bringing people to the past so that they can, it's not about serving the ego. You understand? Like a lot of people
Mm,
want to do regression and they're hoping to find out that they were somebody great or something. I'm not,
yeah.
that's
I'm
not what I'm
curious.
about. Yeah. It's like if you have an issue in this life
Hmm.
and you've been having a hard time pinpointing where this is coming from, it's very possible that it's from a past life. We'll go under with the help of your higher self, and your higher self will direct you to the past life that is pertaining to this issue that you're trying to solve right now. And sometimes the higher self may not bring them to a past life. Higher self will bring them to something in their childhood, something that's happened in this life that they overlooked, and then we solve the problem, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's
Yep.
very important that people don't get stuck on these healing modalities in order to feed their ego. And I'm using ego in a negative sense, you know what I mean? Like, but really to heal, to become the best versions of themselves right now, you know?
Yeah. Like I've seen that all the time. They want to try it out. I
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to just
yeah.
try this out and see what will happen. Well,
Yeah.
what you put in sometimes is what you get out every
What you
day.
get out.
So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
So
I
that,
I I, just- as you said that, I remember
yeah.
taking a lady back and she remembered herself as a baby in her crib.
Yep.
And that was the root of an issue. And
Exactly.
that's wild that that memory
Yeah,
is
for
still there.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Definitely 100%. I mean, man, it would be nice to just maybe one day do a show just like talking about. I've learned so many lessons from, I mean, the whole of last year. Well, for which part? I don't know. I just spent, there was one time where all I was doing was just hypnosis sessions, like just back, just like crazy,
Mm,
you know? But then I took like January off of work. I'm back to work now. But
mm.
you know, that was great. I suggest everybody find a month, not a week, in a month,
Mhm,
you know, that you could
mhm,
just, especially if you're in the healing field, you know, dealing with so many other, it's just good to have like a real actual break, you know, from all of it, just
mhm.
to make sure you're good, you know, and you're
That's
rested.
that
Yeah.
is so smart because we can, like they say therapists, they most of them are burnt out,
Oh,
right? But they don't
yeah.
know it.
100%.
So
One of the last retreats I did was like healing for healers. Because spirit was like,
mhm,
you need these healers to come in here because they need healing. I was like, okay. So, you know, it's true. So I always recommend people, you know, take that time. Do not think that you're being selfish. Guess what? People will be okay. All of my clients are okay. I said, I'm off
yeah.
January, and they're all like, okay. They start booking February. So it's like, just, you know, take that time because it's you need it for your sanity, for your health in every area. Okay, so now here comes the big question. Because we are
Get
on
into it.
we
Mhm,
are on love story. And I
yeah.
always say that love story is so much more than love the way that we think of it. You know, life is love, truth is love.
Mhm,
So I always open up, and obviously have like all the other ways that we could view love, but I always want the guest to go with what resonates when I ask the question, right? But you don't have to, it doesn't have to be just romantic love. It could be however, whichever way you would say like love has showed up in my life. So I'm
mhm,
gonna ask you to think of whichever comes to your mind now, it's okay. We could always have, like I said, multiple interviews, right? So whichever way it comes up for you is fine. What is a dark time that you could think about in your life, or a time where maybe you just didn't feel like yourself, you didn't feel aligned, and in some way love showed up and rescued you out of that time? Do you have
Well,
a
you
time
know,
that comes to mind?
I have multiple times. I have many times. And still I doubted.
Mm,
Still I doubted.
mm.
Still I went into well, I don't know, maybe. And then love was like, all right, I'm gonna show you again. And then love took me to the edge of when, oh, there's no coming back. There's
Oh
no
man.
I got you. And I'm like, is this a game? Like, what's that? So I got one because
Tell us the story. You
have
just
many.
gave us like a teaser, like what?
Yes, because there's so many, and this
Mhm.
is probably one of the most unique questions I've ever heard. So this is
Oh,
really, really
nice.
powerful. Yeah, I think this would be a great question to ask clients in sessions. This is just
Yeah,
amazing.
for sure.
Hmm. Yeah. So this story is about love, right? And relationships.
Mhm.
Long story short, I was in a relationship, and I knew that this was not a good relationship.
Mm.
The signs were there, but it's funny. I wanted to see myself through the relationship. I wanted it to play out
Yeah.
in all its horror, in
And
all
all this
its,
horror.
yeah. I wanted to see the, I mean, I almost said ugliness, but the darkness, the shadow. I
Yeah.
wanted to see that because I knew this person was going to reflect that to me.
Yeah.
So
Fact.
I'm like double-minded. I'm
Yeah.
like in it, but at the same time, I'm observing
Mm-hmm.
what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds really weird, but so I was in it
I
for
get it.
5 years,
Mm-hmm.
5 years, and it was just the most like cliche things happen. So
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous, so terrible as a
Mm-hmm.
relationship. But there was this knowing inside of me that was telling me I need to do this because it's going to help me make breakthroughs,
Yeah.
and it's going to help me stop patterns,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
In the type of women I attract or the type of mindset or belief that I have that maybe cause dysfunction in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's two parts, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
I stayed in that, but what happened was, like you get sent out on a mission and then you forget you're on the mission and
Yep.
you get totally wrapped up in it and you forget, oh yeah, I'm on a mission. So I literally got a mission and was wrapped up in this relationship, knowing that this is not a relationship, right? And it can go left and back because that person's not stable, right? So I'm there, and all the signs are telling me it's time to leave. It's time to be out.
Yeah.
It's time. My
Yes.
dreams, literal, total disrespect and
Yeah.
nonsense in the relationship happening.
Yes.
Um, everything,
Mm-hmm.
and still I'm like, no, I'm in it. And I don't know what was happening and why I was losing my original purpose of
Yeah.
I'm in this to discover myself,
Yes.
right? From no, this is the one.
Oh.
Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a total. So I guess that was actually part of the shadow. Like I had to immerse myself
Wow.
and
Yes,
really
yes, yes, yes.
be in it,
Yeah, to get
not
all
play
that.
acting.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
you
Yes.
got it. I had to go to the depths in order
Yeah.
to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Then some funny stuff happened, and this is where love came in. So sometimes, how your higher self, would communicate with me at times through symbols and
Yeah. Yeah.
repetitive things. And so they would send me this music all the time. I'm waking up from this song in my head, and then I'm seeing something on TV,
Yeah.
and it was two messages. It's like, yo, something big is coming for you in about 4 months,
Oh.
right? So I'm thinking, I'm gonna strike the lotto. This is money. Money is
Nah.
like, this is it. They're like, yo, I'm getting ready, right? And then I started hearing this song about this is silly, this is funny. Is it the 18? No, it was a movie, Delta Force, that I loved back in the days. To tell you my age, it's back in the 80s and 90s, the Delta Force, where they sent a special ops team to come in and rescue hostages that were behind enemy lines.
Okay.
And they had a theme song and everything. Like, I used to love the theme song. That theme song's in my head.
Yeah.
It's just playing and playing. I'm like, what's going on? You know? And so getting closer to the time, you know, I'm having dreams of hurricanes and tornadoes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know, and
I know.
right, and big giant tsunamis coming. And I'm feeling that I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then boom, something happened in our relationship, a big blow up. And it was a decision point for me.
Yeah.
It was either I bounce or I stay in the toxic and go down into hell.
Yeah.
And possibly danger, right?
Of course, yeah.
And I was stubborn. So the spirit was like, boy, this guy, you know, they were screaming at me. They were like, get out. You remember like the movie Get Out? You're in the sunken place, get out. So literally extreme things happened. And then I got out.
Yeah.
I even went to a store one time and the guy's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, yeah, me and my girl just broke up. And he looked at me, he goes, forget about her. And I was like, huh? That was spirit yelling, forget about her. And it snapped me out of this trance. As we were talking about hypnosis, I had put myself into a trance. And that's a lot of our work is people are in negative trances, self-doubt, of low self-worth, of I can't, you know, I don't know how. So I was in this trance in my shadow of not knowing what I deserved and what I truly needed. And that guy shocked me out of that trance. I'm like, okay, made my decision. It was bumpy, it was rocky because I was in another city. I had no family by myself practically, and came home about a week later to visit my family up here. This was like Christmas time, and I'm chilling. So I'm walking through the mall, doing my thing. Hey, I'm happy to be back in Toronto. Boom, I meet the love of my life. If I could curse here, I would curse. There was that. And she was like, yo, where you been? I'm like, where you been? And she's like, you want to marry me? I'm like, yeah.
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
No. Tell me.
Because I was like, yo, are you married? And she's like, I thought you'd be married. She's like, no, I'm single. But she's like, why, you want to marry me? And I'm like, yeah, actually.
This is when you guys just met, the first time you guys just met?
No, see, we knew each other.
I'm like, what?
Sorry. Yeah. Let me get the backstory. We knew each other. I lied.
Yeah.
I didn't meet her. I reconnected.
Okay, because I was like, what?
Yeah. So I knew her from back in the days. We were friends, but we had lost contact. Okay. Yes, but we always kept running into to Spirit was always trying to bring us together. And we were just hard-headed. We were like, you know, you're my friend. So and then it was like a whirlwind of emotions and feelings.
Wow.
A whirlwind of all these feelings just came up out of nowhere. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then my mind trying to doubt it. And then that theme song came back. And they were like, remember when we told you months ago you had something big? Yes. Surprise.
Yes.
And so literally, I don't know what it was. It was felt like what you said, love, like a specialized special op love team that came in and scooped me up out of that. Yeah. I could have check this out. Check this out.
I'm here for it.
There was a psychic at my work, and she was really good, and she was on it. And she said, you and your girl are facing problems, and you might break up, and you might go back to Toronto. She's like, don't go, stay. And that was the wrong advice.
Bro, speak on that.
Imagine if I would have taken that advice. So these are the little obstacles that were coming that my special force team.
Trying to make you go against your own intuition. Like you get what I'm saying? Because then when the time would come, this is hitting so hard, you know, like, yeah, trust me, I understand exactly what you're saying. Something like, here's how I've figured this much in it. Along our life, this is my theory, right? Because you are not knowing who you are 100%, you don't remember who you are, you keep attracting these people into your life who literally are mirrors. Like they're gonna show you who you are, whether it's good relationships or bad relationships. And they could show you who you are to the point, like from in my case, it was they were showing me who I was to the point of like, this is what you need to heal. This is what you need to heal. This is what you need to heal. Like first husband, like, okay, boom, went with him because childhood trauma, just straight, like things I wanted. I just want to be accepted. I just want this. I just want that. Okay, I could get it here. You get what I'm saying? Like things that choosing like a little girl, you know, trying to pacify there was pain. And then you may realize that as soon as you start getting the healing for these things, you and that person are like so mismatched now. Like, and then let's say you keep going, whether it's a marriage or not, it has to come to the place where sometimes the contrast of relationships, either people showing you like who you are or who you don't want to be. You get what I'm saying? Some people are in your life just to show you exactly what you don't want. Like if you thought all you needed was a man with money, now you know, no, it can't just be that. Or if you thought what you needed was a person who like, I don't know, did certain things, you know, like maybe they're just traditional. Or you thought like, I don't want a traditional person. All of a sudden you were someone who's quote unquote very modern and you're like, holy crow, like this really sucks. Like it would be nice if we had some, you know what I mean?
Let
Like
me
some semblance of, you know, back in the day.
let me share something with you because
Tell
you're
me.
this is be wild what you just said. What
Mm-hmm.
because it's that story. What you just said is what I actually did. About a week
Mm-hmm.
before, I wrote
Wow.
down everything I didn't want because the relationship was showing me everything that it was showing me who I was not.
Exactly right.
And I wrote the exact list. And then literally 2 weeks later, she showed up. So
That's
what you
it.
just said
That's
is
it, bro.
exactly what happened.
That's it. That as soon as you notice that, because I'm telling you, know, I can know it because remember I said like I did my search and I'm like, nah, this is what this is. As soon as I got to the place where I was like, first of all, just like you,
Mm,
geez, months before, I was waking up, I was waking up to a voice that was like, I mean, literally, I was hearing this voice outside of myself saying, don't let October find you here. So I had the date. Do not let, so I knew my energetic signature could not be found in this location. I knew I had to move.
mm,
And I kept hearing that for the whole month. So then I'm like, finally, I'm like, oh gosh, October's coming. Like in 2 months, I'm going to be in October. I need to find a place. Like, where am I going to go? And I knew the person I was with already. It was like, you know, this is very clearly the future they want. And you know that this is clearly the future you do not want. So you
mm.
cannot make moves with this person. It was very clear, very scary to think about moving on my own. I have children and all of that. But it was like, do not let October find you here. And I was thinking, what's gonna happen? Like I thought something real terrible. Like I was
Yeah.
scared. I was like, I cannot be here. Maybe a nuclear
Mm,
something. I got it. And I actually knew I had to get out of the city. Very clear. Do not get out of the city. Do not let October catch you here. Bro, I made that decision like, okay, I'm gonna go. Because I'd rather be wrong and listen to that voice than not listen to that voice and really be like in a trouble situation, you know. So I'm like, I'm gonna take my chances because I know when that happens, that's a serious intervention happening right now, you know. And
mhm.
so by knowing who I was, finally I got to that place when I was like, you know what, I know so much who I am I don't care all the other lifeboats that come to save me.
Mm.
Do you get what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm ready to be alone. That's
You don't
how,
need them.
yeah, that's how much I know. So I'm like, I'm about to do a solo move. And guess what? The place that and it's so miraculous. I don't want to make this about me. You could check out my other story. We could talk another time, but exactly to get out, like the circumference that I had, like you have to go this far out, because I knew it had to be an hour, not more than an hour away from where I was, is exactly where I am now. And guess who's here? My husband. Like I literally got directed straight into his arms, bro. Like straight into his arms.
Wow.
And
So that's
like the love of your life, how you're like, oh, it's a reacquaintance. When I met my hubby, he was like, don't you remember me? And I was like, yo, so familiar. I just do not know where. He's like, you're 14 years old walking in Markham with a brown girl. Straight like that. Immediately I remembered that day Spirit had woke me. Only day I ever stepped out from my house was my cousin's birthday. And Spirit was like, wake up, you're going to see a boy. And I woke up my cousin. I'm like, listen, we got to go to the store. So I got up, went to the store. And on my way to the store, him and I passed. He's the only boy. Him and I never saw him again.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 14 and I didn't meet him again until I was 39.
Wow.
And he remembered like our eyes. We remembered our eyes. Like, and obviously just to touch on hitting back into past lives. You get what I'm saying? Like we know people, you know what I mean? So you and your love of your life, it's going to be very interesting if you don't already know, like what connection, because when you have a calling and a purpose, especially one like this, the people that Spirit connects you to, who you are, people who will support you in this work that you're called to do. So they're not going to be hindrances to you. They're going to help you. They're going to support you, you know? So in this love story, because I'm looking at how everything we've come together with the work that you're doing, plus with the love of your life. Now Spirit has brought you guys together, right? This is love saving you out of that other relationship. Because had you followed the voice of somebody else, this is why it's so important for people to have that connection to their higher self, because your higher self was giving you directions, and here comes somebody else who's claims to be a psychic or whatever the case may be, and she was fully directing you in the opposite direction. So how important is it? I have two questions for you. How important is it in your journey? Have you realized, like, especially what we're talking about specifically, like when you think back to how that coworker was telling you, don't go to Toronto, like how joyful, bro, were you to like not take that advice? Like when you really realize it, like what are all the things that solidified for you, like in your journey?
Well, I feel actually now that you're saying this to me now, it's actually getting me to think on that even deeper. Okay. Because like I said, it was like a whirlwind.
Yeah.
So that time was a whirlwind.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was literally in a storm.
Yeah.
And everything was just picking up and change was happening and internally and externally.
Yeah.
And that voice could have been dangerous because when you're in a storm, you're just looking for the eye of the storm. You're looking for something, a voice of clarity. But for some reason, my spiritual team their voice was stronger.
Yes.
And more consistent.
Yeah.
They were like a hammer, like nailing down that little thing. I'm gonna tell you, before I went to go meet my wife, my cousins were up and it was a snowstorm, and I'm like, let's just go. I gotta go to this mall. I don't know why, but I gotta go.
Wow.
And at the time they were like, all right, let's go. But I remember the time I was there with my mom. She's like, no, it's a snowstorm. Where you going? You guys can go on another day. Stay. Like, and I'm like, no, I have to go. I don't know why.
You know why?
Bridget, let me tell you, why? Normally, I'm not going. Like,
trust
I'm not
me,
going.
snowstorm, who's going anywhere?
I'm not going. I'm in the car, and then there's no parking. It was
Oh,
like obstacle after
after
obstacle.
obstacle.
And there's no parking just for me to turn around. I said, nah, I'm going. And I went in. And then when I went in, the whirlwind was back,
Wow.
meaning I was in a daze. Like
Wow.
time, they say in hypnosis, it's like there's no time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's time distortion. And she spotted me. I hear her name, Johnathan. I'm like, huh? I couldn't even see her. So many people were happening.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Were there. And
yeah.
listen, I don't even know why I was so happy to be away from that other relationship. And I was just in this vibe of being happy. And I was so clear. The first time in my life, I was so
Mm,
clear. I was
this is it.
crystal clear about who I am,
That's
what
it.
I deserve, what is it.
That is
And
it.
boom, like lightning. And she's
That
like, Johnny, I'm like,
vibration,
huh?
bro. That vibration.
Yo,
That vibration. That's
yeah.
all people got to get to. Clarity and happiness. You put those two together, yo, your destiny just is like bam, bam, bam.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead, bro, because you're saying things that I hope that the
No,
viewers are catching. Like he's giving you guys gems right now,
yeah.
clarity and happiness. Not only was he clear, because you could be clear and depressed, he was clear and he was happy. And you could be happy and not clear, but those two, clarity of who you are, not just clarity of who you are and happiness, that frequency is literally like Moses parting the Red Sea. Like you, that frequency and things, obstacles just move, answers come, doors open. Like that's just, go ahead, brother. Sorry, go ahead.
No, like because I never thought of it that deep before. So
Yeah,
you're helping me to unpack it.
good to
You know
go.
what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
you're getting me to realize certain things that it was true. I
Yeah,
was happy and I was clear. I never thought of it like that.
that's it.
I knew the clarity part, but I never aligned it with,
The
I was
feeling is
happy.
100.
And let me
Yes.
tell you, I was happy for no reason. There wasn't a reason. Let me
That's
tell you, I had every reason not to be. I quit my job. I was moving back into a new city. It was a snowstorm. I came out of it, like everything was just there. Just I was in total uncertainty and I was flipping happy.
yes, that's
And
it.
that and what you said was so true. Like that voice or those signs kept happening. So when we got together, so a little doubts trying to come in. I'm like, is it really? Could it really be? Is it that? Is you know, are, is this really? And then they came back again with the hammer and they were like, oh yeah? All right, I'm gonna show you. Sign after sign after sign after sign, screaming at me like, come on, shaking me like, come on. And then eventually I just had to, yeah, all right. I had to surrender and be like, I had to surrender to love. And it was the most
Surrender to
scariest flipping
love.
thing in the world. It
Oh.
was like, yo, let me tell you, it was the scariest thing and the most beautifulest thing. Now I see it's like, oh my God, like shit, my heart's in your hands and your heart's
Oh,
in my hands. And
yeah.
we're just like, and we don't care about nothing else in the world, just being together. We
Facts.
don't give a shit about,
Facts.
I don't care what's happening. I don't care.
Facts.
The world could be on fire, burning up. It's
Facts.
like, yeah,
Facts.
okay, cool. Well,
Yeah.
let's go hang out, and
That's it. It's facts.
yeah, and that was our protection, and that was our goal. Now, and I understood when these talk about bliss and heaven and being within you, and how
Oh,
it's
oh.
unfortunate that a lot of times relationships are used in another way because
Mm,
people's shadow come out
mm-hmm.
or they're not right with the right person,
Yeah.
and they don't get to experience that, or that's in the beginning, and then life comes. But you know it's there, and it was heavenly and it was divine. That's all I can say. And it was miraculous,
Yeah.
and it was divine.
Yeah.
Excuse me, divine intervention
Facts. Yeah.
in my face and in her. And I was telling her, I'm like, yo, you see the signs here? She's like, yes. It blew her mind because on her end, she was doing the same thing. She was
Mm-hmm.
asking for the
Mm-hmm.
one, and
Mm-hmm.
she was super clear. She's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm ready. Send me
Yeah.
the one. I
Yeah.
need it now. Send me
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
And Spirit was like, you sure? You know what I mean? All right.
Trust.
you know, and
Trust.
then
Yeah.
boom. So love rescued
Yeah.
us, supported us,
Yes.
carried us.
Yes.
Yeah, man, it was wild. Like, and all my friends were like, yo, I never seen you like this before. And I'm
Yes.
like, I never seen myself like this before.
Trust me. Yes.
It
I know.
opened up another aspect in my heart. It opened up
Oh,
another
another
aspect in her.
chamber. Yes.
Yeah, and
I
it
know.
connected. It
Yeah.
connected me in a deeper way to
Mm.
life. Everything looked
Mhm.
beautiful. You know, and the scientists say all this nonsense about the hormones that's flooding in the brain.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's the effect, not the
Yeah.
cause.
Yeah. 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 Facts.
The cause is you're accessing divine energy, right?
That's right. That's
And
right.
that person is helping you share that. So
You
you
know,
understand 100%.
bro, it's so lovely to talk to other people. Like, I'm not, I don't want to seem judgmental, but it might be. Anyways, take it how it is. I'm speaking my truth. There's certain, it's not to say like you and this person won't have disagreements. It's not to say like you won't have times where you're like, you know, but
Yep.
the feeling, it really is like heaven on earth. And what I mean is like, I remember times just like being with, and even to now, it's still here. It hasn't gone. It's maturing. You know what I
It's
mean? It's
different.
like
Yes.
different, yeah, like big people heaven, you know? So it's like, yeah. And it's like I'm in his arms, you know, and I'm like, but what could I want more than this? Like I'm
Exactly.
actually thinking like
Yep.
if there was a heaven, if there was a heaven and I wasn't in his arms, it wouldn't be heaven to me.
That's right. Hmm.
Like, so then I'm just like, okay, he's here. I'm in his arms. He exists. We found each other. We're finally together. We're building. We're just together. And I'm like, I don't apart, honestly, the only thing that could make Earth more heaven is just more people like not being programmed. You get what I'm saying? Like more people not being programmed, being integrated with their higher self, being deliberate co-creators. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the kind of stuff. And obviously that would cause and end suffering, you know, unless someone wanted to suffer. But it would
But
naturally end oppression and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm already in heaven. I
yeah,
do. I really
but
feel
you
like,
know what? And what I realized is people, and I was like this, people don't believe it. They
yeah.
when they're on, when they haven't, they doubt it. And when you hear people talk online and just the vitriol and the back and forth and
Oh
the
man.
nonsense, you're like, shit, like people lost faith. They really
Yeah.
don't believe
In love and
that
in
they could find
happy.
someone or there's this divine presence. They
Yeah.
really don't believe it.
Yeah, they
They
don't.
believe more in the dysfunction.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I see it all the time. I see it all the time. I mean, you just have to scroll social media and it's like, what are these women saying? What are these men saying? And it breaks
Right.
my heart because sometimes him and I are watching stuff and he'll say like, babes, like, look at what women are saying now. And I'm like, nah, you're lying. There's no way. And then I'm like, yo, what is going on? And then men are saying, and I'm just like, do we not see? And I'm like, they're literally like, this love can heal anything. I mean, the amount of, I've done so much, okay, like from whatever age until I met my husband, I've been doing healing work for myself, for other people. Like, that's what I've been doing forever. But when I met my husband, the depth of healing I received, that went back. That, like, and he doesn't consider himself a healer. He'll never tell you that. That's not his occupation. That's not what, but he's my healer. He's my healer. Like things that I wouldn't even know how to get into, he was able to release. You get what I'm saying? Like for me
Yes.
to go so deep and just pains, hurts. This, like this man is freedom for me. Like he's,
Yes.
I don't know, he's the medicine, you know, and I'm the medicine for
That's
him.
it. Yes. The medicine.
The
And
medicine.
spiritual teachers that I've had have said that. And this is when I was young and I didn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, they went to another level
Yes.
in their spiritual unfoldment when
Yes.
they met their divine counterpart.
Exactly. Exactly.
thought they knew,
Yes.
but something opened up in them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. And
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't even
Yeah.
believe in
Yeah.
marriage because I didn't see the example of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's more to the story.
Yeah.
I gave you the short. I'm gonna give you this one little piece, okay?
Give me the give it to me. Give it.
Let me tell you. So when I had left that relationship, so I didn't really have family there, but I had like a distant family that I hadn't really connected with in a long time. So I wasn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I stayed at their house for about a week, and I was vexed because I wanted to go straight to Toronto. I was like, oh, I gotta be here.
Yeah.
And I had no choice but to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nowhere for me to go. It's like snow and a bunch of stuff happening. Then when I settled down, my ego down, and I'm hanging with them,
Mm-hmm.
their family was the exact opposite of my upbringing,
Mm-hmm.
and it was perfection.
Oh.
The husband had his arm around the wife
Oh,
with
you're
the
seeing it.
kids. They're holding hands, they're playing games, they're having fun, they're laughing. There
Okay.
is no, and I'm looking, I'm like, I'm feeling weird. I'm like, this is weird. What's going on here, man? I'm
Yeah.
not used to that. I ain't seen
Yeah.
that. Nobody I know, really.
Nobody. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, like the husband, I mean, the kids are 12 years old,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
husband is like into his wife. And the wife
Mm-hmm.
is into,
Me
as
too.
if they're
Yeah.
little, they just
Yeah.
met. I'm
As if
like,
they're
what the fuck?
teenagers, they're high school.
Yeah. So I realized that it was a setup by spirit,
Yeah.
intentionally put me there
To see
to
that, experience
reprogram
that.
me.
Exactly.
You
Facts.
know it. And it
Mm-hmm.
worked. And from that day, I said, I want this.
That's it. Oh, such a good thing to want. Yeah.
I said, this is mine.
Yeah. That's it.
And that's when I was super clear.
Super, super clear.
But I had to see it first.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's why I see what you're doing is really important because people don't believe it,
No.
India.
No. They don't.
They believe in the darkness, which is the illusion,
Yeah.
more than they believe in the light, in
Trust. Yeah.
and even in the true darkness, which is infinite potential.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts.
And but they're limited to this one
Mm-hmm.
flipping reality
Yeah.
that, oh, relationships are this, women are that, men are that. And
Yes.
I'm like, no.
No, man.
If we're in part of this divine infinite potential, that means all possibilities can happen.
Yes. Exactly.
There's zeroing on this one little possibility.
Exactly.
That's freaking hypnosis right there.
And why? And the question is why? Out of all the possibilities, why would you want to zero in? Because what I know is that we are always surrounded by everything. Like before that moment, there were other people around you that displayed that love, but you just couldn't see it. You see what I'm saying? You just couldn't see it. Because it's always around us. Like love is always around us. But depending on where we are, like we see it, basically we see what we want to see, even without knowing that that's what it's there. So at that time, see, your higher self already knows, like, yo, she's here, line up for this man. And he's now open. He knows what he doesn't want, and knowing what you don't want is very good because it's basically what you want is the opposite of what you don't want. So you don't actually have to know, like, I want this. You need to just know I don't want that. Sometimes knowing what you don't want is all you need to know. And so you knew a whole bunch of what you didn't want, which means there was a part of you that knew a whole bunch of what you did want. And that is what made it so that when you were in that house, it was the actual, like you said, it is the opposite of everything.
Opposite.
Because you ridiculously, I don't want the opposite.
Like, I'm like, this is corny, but it was beautiful.
Within yourself, though, you're like, no, I want this.
I said, I want it. I want the corny.
I want
simple,
give me it. Yes.
Just simple, chill, peace,
love,
fun.
Yeah.
And what I had realized is, and I see with people is, people have associations to love in their unconscious. That's the problem.
Right.
Like love means hurt, or love means pain, or love means abandonment. or
Yes,
love
I agree.
doesn't love them,
No,
or
I'm
they're
not
not good
worthy.
enough.
I'm not worthy of love. That's a
Right,
huge one. Yeah.
right. So love
Yeah.
has all these associations that they
Yes.
just play out, and that's the issue, unconscious association. And then I
Yeah.
saw it with myself.
Yes.
And when I
Yeah.
broke that, I reprogrammed that in my mind. I'm like, oh
Yes.
no, love is this.
That's
So
right.
that feeling, that
Mhm.
experience that
Mhm.
I experienced with
Mhm.
my wife and that miracle,
Mhm.
that's God
That is God. That's right. That's how that's
in
what
the
God is.
full glory in
Yes.
front of my face. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, you
Yeah.
thought you were in charge?
Mm.
You, Jonathan, you thought you knew,
I
right?
know.
I'm
I
gonna show
know.
you
It's so
who's
nice.
really in charge here.
Yeah. Oh, there's no. Oh, I'm great. I'm like, ooh, like you don't even know.
Yeah,
I'm like, ah,
yeah.
all
Because I
this.
thought I had it figured out. I thought
Mm-mm.
I'm like, nah, I'm not getting married. Nah, whatever. And
No,
Spirit's just laughing at me like,
of course.
whatever. You have no idea what's coming for you, bruh. You're gonna be on your knees proposing in no time. You're gonna be
Trust.
you're gonna
Yeah.
feel like a kid again.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And I'm so thankful. Just gratitude for that. And I want, like you, I
Yeah.
want people to at least open to that
Yeah.
possibility.
Yes.
All spirit needs is just open the door a crack. Just open it and
Yeah.
watch the miracles happen.
That's it. Just like mustard seed faith. You know what I mean? Like a little bit, just a little bit.
Hmm.
As you're saying that, what's coming to mind is I have a lot of female clients and more female clients than male clients. And a lot of them would be like, yeah, and I want what you have, you know? They never talk about it, but then like, sometimes my husband comes around or whatever the case, and then they see us interact and they're like, yo, I want that. And I'm like, good, that's a good thing to want, you know? Because I know the love we have is genuine. I never have to pretend like I'm happy. I never have to pretend anything. It's just even if I'm like whatever, babes. Like even if it's a day like that, I'm always real with each other. So people could feel the love amidst anything. They could still feel the vibe. And a lot of women in today's world, they have a problem with this word, submit. It
Mm.
it like they want it like makes them nauseous, all kind of crazy stuff. You
It
know,
makes them throw up.
all kind of yeah, they want to throw up all kind of crazy migraines come on,
Mm.
all PMS symptoms, everything want to hit when they hear that
Mm.
submit. And the thing is, like you said, spirit was laughing at you because it's like you're gonna be on one knee begging this girl to marry you. And this is the thing I would say to women. When that real love comes into your life, submission is not even whatever you think it is, it's not what it is. It's like the love makes you want to serve.
Mm.
Love makes you like, you just want, like, it's a joy for me to like, I want to cook for my husband. I want to put his food. All of that stuff is like an honor for me. Like, no. I am his wife. Like, and I don't even care what the word wife means. I'm saying like, no, this is like, he's home. Like, I want to do it. I want to be the one like to make him more happy. You get what I'm saying? In whichever way, you're hungry, you're thirsty, like, because you know what? He is doing everything for me to have freedom and to live the life of my dreams. So and I know that. Listen, there's snow outside. I don't have to go outside and shovel myself out of the snow, you know what I mean, or whatever the case is. But I'll go outside because I want to keep him company. I want to help where I can, hold something, just talk to him while he's doing stuff. Or I may not go outside. But the thing is, like, the weight that he carries, I don't have to carry that weight. So it's easy when you see that someone loves you so much that they're daily giving themselves for your joy and your happiness and your protection and your provision and your everything. It like is nothing. It is like the only thing that love will have you do is one to take care of that person, is one to fulfill their every need. Like, it just comes naturally because it's so reciprocal. you know he's doing all of that for you. And it's like, oh, my mind constantly, I'm like, okay, what can I do for my husband to like make him feel so sweet up, melt him up? Like, what can I, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm constantly thinking of, I want him to know, I want him to just feel appreciated. I want him to, you get what I'm saying? Like that,
Yes.
and let me tell you, bro, I've been in relationships before, like married before. Nah, that wasn't coming in my mind like that. At one point when I was very into the Christian stuff, I just did things because I love God and God said be submissive. And so I was doing things out of duty. This is a
Right.
different thing. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like, this is a different thing. This is not a duty movement. This is like love compels me.
That's it.
Love compels me to like just try to make his world as easy as possible. Like, because life ain't easy out here. So whatever I could do to make life more enjoyable for him in any way, I like I'm the one, So I think like this is when I realize the effect that love has had on me. I know that these relationships are suffering because why did they get into the relationship in the first place? Because I've experienced both, right? And I think that there's something that there's a selflessness that love brings on to you. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're in love, like really true love, in love with somebody, and love is there, and his spirit is definitely there, their strength and patience and forgiveness and understanding and a desire to want to please the person that exists on a whole other level. It's really divine. It's really, really divine. And I think that this is what's missing in our world, that love for each other, not just husband and wife, but because that love quality is present in everything. Like it's not
Right. Yep.
like that for husbands and wives. If you have love, it's actually present in everything. It will be there with the children. It will be there with your at work. It will be there with the neighbor. Like love is love. You know what I mean? Obviously, not to the same extent. You know what I mean? As a intimate relationship or whatever, but it will be there. Like love has qualities. You know what I mean? Like love by its fruits. Love. And so I love everything you said there. I'm so happy that you have your wife. I'm so happy that she has you. You guys have children, correct?
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm learning that journey right now. Yeah.
How many children do you have?
That's another podcast.
That's a whole other one. As you were talking, I thought to myself, like, we need to do a story, like one of these love stories. I would love for us to just have a session. And if you're watching this, let us know if you think this would be a good idea. Think if you say it will be, Johnathan will come on again, right? Let us know if you think it would be beneficial to talk about the subliminal disconnects or negative connections that we have around love. And maybe just focusing a whole love story, just talking about that and how can people identify those in their lives, and then what can they do to basically get away from those, right? Dissolve them or whatever the case. We could talk about different things. I don't know.
They can come see you.
But I like to, you could come see me. You could go see Johnathan too. But it's nice. I think it's always nice to just give, you know what I mean? Just give. Obviously, if someone wants like deeper, more, assistance, whatever, but they could come to us. But I think like we were touching on some stuff there, and I could feel like that would be, people can't really come to you if they can't identify they have an issue. You know what I mean? So maybe having a show like that where we could actually really help people identify like where those things are, or that they even have those things, could be the first step. And then as they respond, we could just go on, giving some helpful tips and stuff like that.
I think that would be great because to me, this is not just like a show or a podcast.
Yeah.
When we're connecting like this and it's a calling,
exactly,
we're opening a field.
Facts.
That's what we do right in our work. We're opening a field, and when we open that field,
Yeah,
amazing things happen.
I agree.
So
I agree.
you're not like sitting watching, you're encountering that field
Yes,
that
yes,
we're opening,
that's
and
right.
everyone plugging in.
That's right.
And
That's
yeah,
right.
so it's actually a healing experience.
Yeah, facts.
And
I like
yeah.
it's true. It's true. Now, before we go, first of all, thank you for sharing that story.
No problem.
It's supposed to be your story, but you had me all up in there because I love love. I love I love
That's
love. And
good.
it's not very often, that I meet another person who is actually like people go through and then they're like, I'm waiting for that love. But it's very rare that I meet another person who has found that love, like they're at that place. So I know what it is. And I wish for everyone to find that love,
Yeah, me too.
and I wish
Mhm.
that I feel like if we had that, man, the world would just be such a better place. Even if not everyone, but like if half the population could get that, like, wow, you know what I mean? Wow, I think, yeah, there won't be no wars. There won't be no wars. Like things would be cool.
Who has time to work? Like,
You just
it's
want to love. You're like, what? Bro, I'm trying to go home to my wife. What do you, what do you
yeah.
mean? What are you saying? What? Spend how long away from her? No, not happening. Yeah. So even the
Mhm.
women be like, my husband's not going nowhere. Now women celebrate. They want their husbands to go away. Like, aren't you supposed to go? I'm just like, my husband leaves and I'm just like, babes, when you coming back? He's not even out the door. I'm saying, what do you have to do today? Like, how long do you have to be gone? Like, yeah, he's always like, I have to go. I have to go, but
Because we literally become one.
yeah, I don't I if it, honestly, if I could do this and have him just be home all the time and just be doing his work just there and never have to leave, that would be my thing. Honestly, like I kid you not. Like I have no problems. Like I just, even if we're not in the same room, I want him to be where I could just go and sneak a hug, or you know what I'm saying? Like just be in the presence. But and he feels the same way, too. It's a mutual thing. It's not just like one person who's thing, and it only gets stronger, as the years go on. It's like you go through different things and that love is just building. Like love is supposed to continue expanding, and
Mhm.
that's what's happening. So I always want that for the people. Now, before we get off, I want you to take a little time because, like I said, we connected because you sent me a message about your new system,
Mhm.
meditation, mindfulness system that you have, which is a great, amazing offering. So I want you to just take a little time just to let people know. I will put as much as I can in the description below. So if you are tuning in, do check the description. Give me like a little bit of time to put everything in. But definitely I will add that information under Johnathan, but I still want you to just talk about it a little bit now so people could know if they do check it out, what exactly you're doing right now.
So it's gonna put you on cloud nine. That's what my clients say. That's what people say who listen to
I
it.
believe you.
Because I put my soul into this. When your mom would cook, or someone, your family member would cook, your grandmother, and they would put their everything in. I put everything into that. And it's really designed to tune your mind, your body, and your soul to
Yeah.
a higher frequency. That's the formal thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a series of meditations that you would listen to in sequence.
Yeah.
And it's unlike any other meditation because the way I have my voice, the way as you know, you're a hypnotherapist, the words I choose and the
Exactly.
music I choose and the tones and frequencies I chose, each one does a different thing. Use it to ground and center yourself. Use it when you don't believe in your dreams. You don't believe
Mm,
in um, what you're manifesting. If you're having a hard time doubting
yeah.
because it hasn't come yet, and you're
Yeah.
in this space where you're seeing the opposite of what you want, that's
Mm,
when you can use this as a tool to tune your mind and body into a heart space of well-being, feeling good, feeling love, feeling peace.
yeah.
You need that. You're a receiver,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your subconscious is a receiver and a transmitter. So you got to tune it. You got to tune your mind to these higher frequencies, or the world's going to tune your mind. Social media.
Yeah, it'll program you if you don't program yourself.
Exactly. So that's what it is. And people love it so far. I picked some of my best tracks. I still got a lot more in the vault, but yeah. So grab it now, because I'm gonna do an official launch
Yeah.
very soon, and then I'm going to close that down and move on to my next offering.
Your next project. Well,
Mhm.
I'm gonna put the link to that and your website and however they can contact you. I'll put all that information there at the bottom in the description, like I said. Now to close off, and congratulations on that, because I know what it's
Thank you.
like getting something off the ground. So congratulations on that. I already know, I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. I was reading it up, man. I already just know the vibe. Spirit leads you to something. Spirit never leading me to nobody who's whack. So I already know
Right.
it's all
Thank you.
good. Yeah. So I want to ask you one last question.
Sure.
If this was, which we know it's not going to be, right? You'll be back on again. But if this was like, let's say, the last message you could leave for the world or for anybody who's watching, what is it that you think you'd want them to know? What would you want people to know?
Oh wow, that's deep.
Yeah, but you've always got to be ready for that, bro. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
You know what? That staying on theme, that love is real,
Yeah,
that even if you doubt love, love doesn't doubt you and will never give up on you.
never,
Never, ever.
ever.
How could it? And love doesn't judge,
Yeah,
love doesn't evaluate, love doesn't even see that in you. And that's my practice, my daily practice, and what I give to clients as well. And my gift, when I know what I came to this planet in this
yeah.
day and time,
Mm-hmm.
I incarnated here
Mm-hmm.
to send that message, you
Yeah,
know, so
yeah,
that more of us carry, and so we don't meet each other and aren't strangers,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
we fall
Mm,
in love with each other. We're like, oh, that's my brother, that's my sister. Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Um, how can I wasn't gonna ask you one more, but I'm asking one more.
Yeah, I noticed.
I wasn't trying to lie, I promise.
A 3 hour
I
show.
know it's so. Listen, hey, whoever watches this till the end, a blessing for
Yeah.
you.
Hmm.
Last question is, how, if you could say one word to someone, like if they say, how can I increase love?
Mm.
What is it that I should do to make more love? Like how do I increase my love in my relationship, in my friendship? How do I increase love?
It's really just letting go as
Mm,
much as you can. Just letting go. It's already there. You don't really need to increase it. For the
mm,
conscious mind, it seems like increasing it or turning the volume up, but it's already there. It's like what you said earlier, how it was always there, but I
yeah,
wasn't seeing it. So it's a matter of just letting go of your filters, your
right,
barriers, your walls,
right.
your reasons why.
Yes.
Bullshit that says I can't, or it's too this, or the world is whatever. The more you can shed that and let go, and that weight, is the more you will stop fighting against love,
Yeah.
because you can't win.
You can, right. So why? And then at the end of it all, you're like, oh, like everything I went through, everything I've been through, when I finally got to the other side after the NDE, or during the NDE, I guess, when I got to the other side, it was like, oh, I came to earth to love. It was like,
Yeah, yeah,
but and it's like, but it's the love, whatever we're calling love here is
yeah.
not. And I was so clear on the other side what love was. And I was like, I need to go back because mission did not get accomplished. I need to go back and love the way real love. I always tell people, in order to increase love, just be present. Just
Hmm.
be present. And in alignment with everything you just said, like when you're present, there are no filters. There's no filters in the present moment. In the present moment is just that. You just now. And there's no past crap to deal with. There's no future worries. You literally have no filters when you're just in the present. And that's where love is. Love is always present. So you can't feel it, you can't find it, you want to make more or feel more of it, just be present and you see it,
There's
you feel it
yeah, there's no problems in the
there.
present. It just
None.
disappears. It
Dude,
is
gone.
just you feel filled up with everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing.
You know, we could
Okay.
talk for like
We could
5
talk forever,
hours. So.
but you're going to be back on. We'll check the comments and see what people say and if they're down for us to talk about the certain things we mentioned. I want to thank you again, brother. I know, listen, I enjoyed the show. I hope other people do. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a lot of people enjoying the show, but I loved it. I totally enjoyed it. And I want to thank you really from the bottom of my heart, sharing so openly. Blessings to your wife and your beautiful children and your beautiful wife also. And just more, more love, for your family, more present moments, for you guys, just forever to be in that eternal now. That's my wish for you guys. Just all of you experience that, until
Yeah.
in, like I said, eternal now, no ending, So for you,
thank you. Thank you. Like when I heard, when you told me, I'm like, yeah, come on, this is it. Like Spirit was like, yeah, she's the one. You gotta get on that platform. And I didn't know, because I hadn't connected with you in a long time.
so long years,
right? All the things you were doing.
Yeah.
So this is amazing, and not a coincidence. So thank you.
It's very much ordained and orchestrated. So I love it. Now, for you who are watching, if you would like to come on and bless us with your love story, I always say do not judge love. Love is not judging you, so don't judge love. Don't think my story is too small or too personal, or maybe others won't get it. Listen, come on and share your love story. Somebody out there will be so grateful for it, because love does rescue us out of darkness. And you never know what you share about your story that's going to be helpful and encouraging to somebody else. So you can contact me at lovestory4, F-O-R, lovestory4yandea@gmail.com, and I will get in touch with you, and we will, arrange a time for you to come on and share your story. Again, Johnathan, thank you so much. And I wish you the best, brother. Hang on in there. And thank you for watching. Good night, everyone.